you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. In this bulletin, Prime Minister tells Australians the time is right to invest here. Tropical depression weakens as it moves away from Fiji. And record sales at National Women's Expo. As Fiji seeks closer ties with Australia, Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says Australian investors should take advantage of the positive climate in Fiji. Speaking at the 22nd Australia-Fiji Business Forum in Sydney, Bainimarama said the business environment has never been better as Fiji has been consecutively achieving above 4% economic growth. Ritika Pratap reports.
The Australia-Fiji Business Forum was an opportune time for Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama to highlight to Australian businesses the benefits of investing in Fiji.
Fiji is very much open for business, with one of the lowest corporate and personal tax regimes in the region. A range of incentives including zero tax for investments in certain parts of the country. The modernization and upgrading of financial standards and standards of compliance to international best practice, plus a whole range of positive reforms that are making the process of doing business in Fiji easier and more attractive.
Fiji now has an online single window clearance system to speed up the investment process. However, Bainimarama says the precondition for any development to go ahead is that the preservation of Fiji's environment comes first.
The National Green Growth Framework we adopted earlier this year precludes any development that threatens the sustainable use of our resources on land and at sea. And we will not compromise on this. Unlike some countries in the region, even at the cost of forging big dollars in revenue.
The Prime Minister says reforms in Fiji are work in progress and there is a major overhaul of the civil service to put service back into our public sector.
It is all part of a comprehensive program working with the World Bank to overhaul the top-down, excessively hierarchical and bureaucratic public service model we had inherited from the British. Establish more meritocracy, attract high flyers from the private sector.
Voreqe Bainimarama is in Australia to take part in the Fiji Day celebrations. This is his first official visit in 9 years. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has apologized to former Fijian citizens for the coups of 1987 and 2000. Addressing the Fijians at the Fiji Day celebrations in Sydney today, Bainimarama said the fact they were made to feel unwelcome in their own country of birth is the most shameful episode in Fiji's history. He adds precious resources were lost that robbed Fiji of decades of development when people started migrating to Australia. These are pictures of Bainimarama meeting with the mayor of Liverpool late yesterday. And Bainimarama invited all former citizens to return to Fiji and build a home for themselves or invest in the country of their birth. Now, heavy rain warning still remains in place for the whole of Fiji. The Nadi Weather Office confirms, however, that the system is weakening and is now less likely to form into a tropical cyclone.
Tropical Depression 02F was about 440 kilometers southwest of Rotuma, or about 350 kilometers northwest of Nadi at midday today. It's currently moving southwest at 18 kilometers per hour and on the projected path is expected to pass far west of Fiji tomorrow morning.
On its current path, it does not pose any direct threat to Fiji, and it has a moderate probability now to develop into a tropical cyclone.
Rain bands associated with Tropical Depression 02F, which were affecting the group, are expected to gradually ease tomorrow. A heavy rain warning still remains in force for the whole of Fiji.
The rain bands associated with the trough is expected to continue affecting the country and gradually start easing from later tomorrow.
A strong wind warning remains in force for Rotuma waters. A strong wind warning is currently in force for land areas of Lau, Lomai Viti, Yasawa and Mamanuda Group, Vanua Levu, eastern half of Viti Levu, Tavyuni and nearby smaller islands. These areas can expect strong east to southeast winds with average speeds of 40 to 50 kilometers per hour and gusts to 65 kilometers per hour. Edwin Nunn, FBC News.
The School Management Association of Fiji has asked some critical questions of the Education Ministry standards and its curriculum. Speaking at the association annual conference, President Govind Singh claims there are problems not with the ministry's plans, but its method of implementation.
Management of sustainable and quality education.
The association has made its case to the Education Ministry. It sees no method and direction in the education system and wants an education commission to independently draw up plans for the future. President Govind Singh, in a detailed address, picked on many initiatives which haven't materialized or other which, he says, haven't worked as intended.
The intention of my speech is not necessarily to oppose the things that you are doing, although some quite clearly needs to be opposed, but to take ownership, to be involved, to find ways to be part of and be supportive. And that's the expression in the early morning session from the floor here as well.
He claims teachers' organizations are dissatisfied with policies which affect their welfare and encroach on their professionalism. Singh even went as far as to say that Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy has given managers a difficult time by forming breakaway associations and being vindictive. However, Dr. Reddy in response pointed out that many organizations don't show good faith towards the ministry.
We need to work together. I totally agree. We've been trying. We've been trying from last September. We've been wanting to work with every stakeholder. But when they come to us and say something, and they go outside and say something else, it's difficult to understand the real motive.
Dr. Reddy agreed that the ministry has to catch up on quality infrastructure, teachers and curriculum.
The minister stressed the need for individual school management to work with the ministry to improve education standards and to keep the education curriculum. Julie Vatuwaliwali, FBC News.
After the break, Lautoka City Council clamps down on illegal fish vendors.
With one heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulablaka. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics, right here on Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
Welcome back. You're with FBC News. Now, the three-day National Women's Expo ended on a high note in Suva last night. Women artisans from around Fiji have been commended for playing an important role in the economy. Akasita Tale tells us more.
A celebration to end a successful Women's Expo this year and await the next one in 2016. The women artisans were reminded that such expos are to empower them individually.
As individual women living in different parts of Fiji, we are here to empower all of you individually. We want you to know, we want you to feel, we want you to understand that all of you are important individuals for all of us.
With more than $300,000 raised from the first 2 nights of Expo, Aya Sayed Kayum says the women have a lot of potential.
If that can happen over an Expo, imagine the opportunities we have and we are able to connect you to more and more people who can buy your products. And of course, as the Honourable Minister has highlighted, is that there are wonderful artisans in Fiji.
The expo hopes to promote more Fijian-made products and also encourage more women to participate.
This expo serves as a critical platform where women are able to gain financially with the larger benefits to our country, being the preservation of skills as well as subsequent tangible benefits that women can provide to the families and communities.
43 women artisans have qualified for the Fijian Made certification, setting a standard and a benchmark for others in Fiji. Ako si Tatale, FBC News.
The Lautoka City Council says it will weed out illegal fish vendors from the city boundaries to ensure the interest of its market vendors. A video on social media shows city rangers confiscating fish from the illegal vendors and driving off with their catch. Madhu Boletamana has more on the story.
You talk to one young kid, he can understand, or she can understand. I'm a true person like you.
It's this video on social media showing the city rangers confiscating the fish from illegal vendors that has got many up in arms.
They've been warned several times. They've been warned, and it's about 1 month now that the rangers have been going, asking them to remove the fish, but they continue to do that. And it becomes a problem for us because the fish vendors inside the fish market in the wharf are complaining about customers not coming to buy fish from them.
Nako Vanra says city rangers will continue with their operation every weekends to curb this growing problem. He, however, says not all is lost for the illegal vendors who have their fish confiscated.
We have our cooler in the market where fish are stored and waiting for people to come and claim from the council again when on the following day.
So the fish, these illegal fish vendors can come and claim?
Yeah, they can come and claim.
But they have to pay a price?
Yeah, they have to pay a price.
Nako Bandra says the LCC is also encouraging the illegal vendors to do the right thing and sell from the provided facilities at the Lautoka Fishermen's Wharf and the market. Madhu Boletamana, FBC News.
A woman who was a victim of yesterday's early morning fire in Narere is alive and remains admitted in the Colonial War Memorial Hospital in critical condition. Police yesterday sent out confirmation that there had been a fifth victim as a result of the fire. However, spokesperson Anna Naisoro says miscommunication between hospital staff and investigators confirming the woman's death is what led to the regrettable error. She says the Fiji Police Force is extending its deepest and sincerest apologies to the woman's family. Now, Naisoro has assured all possible actions are being taken to look into the matter, as well as bringing justice to the family in terms of the investigation. Fiji continues the fight to eliminate lymphatic filariasis, which has burdened Fijians for several decades now. The Health Ministry has launched a 7-day mass drug administration campaign to treat and prevent infections.
Fijians have been encouraged to make use of this final mass drug administration, or MDA, that is now underway to eliminate lymphatic filariasis.
Namely, the population in all communities in Lau, Nolego and Lakamba subdivisions, Kandawu, Lomaiviti and Rotuma. The MDA will also occur in Taviuni in the Northern Division and also on Malolo Island in the Western Division.
These communities still register a prevalence rate that exceeds 1%, which means the drug administration must cover 80% of them.
The Ministry appeals to members of the public in all the mentioned communities to support the MDA volunteers in their work and swallow the MDA medications that they will prescribe with water in their presence. Only the very sick, pregnant women and those under 2 years of age are not eligible to take the medicine.
Fiji had a prevalence rate of 16% in 2001, meaning that 16 out of every 100 persons were infected by lymphatic filariasis. This has been reduced to 9.6%.
This will be the 12th round of mass drug administration in the eastern and Taveuni areas. It is far above the usual 5 to 6 rounds of mass drug administration recommended to stop the infection. These areas will need to achieve high drug coverage this year.
The objectives of the campaign in Lau, Kandavu, Lomaiviti, Rotuma, Taveuni and Malolo is to bring the infection rate to below 1%. The MDA ends on Saturday. Ako si Tatale, FBC News.
Coming up in sports, Nandrangar retains Fairbrother Trophy for another year. And Kucha leads at Fiji International heading into final day.
छू छू 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट। चोरी किया रे, दिल ये दिल लिया रे।
Welcome to FBC Sports. The Nandrangar rugby side will keep the HFC Bank Fairbrother Trophy for another year. This is the side defeated Lautoka 25-15 in the last challenge today. Tuimbang Batiratu scored the first try for the Stallions, while Apete Ndaveta touched down a try in each half. Hooker Michele Sivo scored a try for Lautoka, while the Maroons forwards pack rolled over for their second try in the dying stages. Nandrangar received $5,000 for the win today. World number 16 Matt Kuchar has opened up a 2-shot lead after day 3 of the Fiji International Golf Tournament in Sigatoka. Kuchar finished the day with a 3 under par 69 score, with a total of 1 under par after 3 days. Australian Aaron Price, who also carded 3 under par today, lie in second place, 2 shots behind Kuchar. Fijian Vijay Singh is in 6th place, 9 shots behind the leader. Meanwhile, Kuchar says he is enjoying the competition so far in Fiji.
An invitation to come to the Fiji International was just one I thought, man, this is great. I have visited Fiji about 2 years ago. It was a place on my list, always wanted to go to. I happened to be, I think, in Australia playing and said, let's stop by Fiji, let's hang out and kind of enjoy the trip to this part of the world.
Meanwhile, majority golfers carded their best score so far on day 3 of the tournament as the strong swells eased. Many more birdies were recorded compared to the first 2 days, with golfers finding it easier to find their mark. Today was also the only day when more than 2 golfers carded scores under par of 72. Well, tomorrow is the final day of the 2015 Fiji International, and you can watch it live right here on FBC TV. The revival of boxing in the country has been slowly taking shape, ever since Fiji was permitted to return to the international fold earlier this year. The Pernix Highlanders Boxing Club in Nandera is one of the many local joints developing youth in the sport, and following today's noble gesture is destined to produce some big names. Chalendao Dakadaka reports.
Former boxing champion Poliasi Ratu has taken it upon himself to restore Nandera as a prominent stable for talented fighters. Ratu currently has 8 boxers training in his Highlanders club, and today they were on the receiving end of some much-needed equipment and gear from local company Pernix Fiji Limited.
Because Coach Ratu has actually sacrificed his personal effects, and he's actually put in a lot of effort into bringing the representatives of PG in the boxing team, and spend a lot of his own money. And we wanted to actually, as part of our CSR, to put back into his effort.
Under Ratu's guidance, the club has produced some prominent names in local boxing, such as Vittori Natawake, Joe Naleva, Opetitangi and Chese Rabundi.
I want to thank the Almighty for making this. We was praying, asking Him for anything that He can donate to us. And at last, Mr. P. Mishal came in and gave us this big donation.
The Highlanders Club is determined to use the timely donation to good effect, and Ratu is sure the boxers can reach new heights in the years to come. Talendo Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
The Suva football side is ready for the busy schedule ahead. The Whites compete at the Pacific Cup in New Zealand next month, then play the Champion vs Champion series and compete in the OFC Champions League next year. Rohit Deo caught up with coach Gurjeet Singh.
Field, Don Raj for the Suva side turns again.
Despite the loss of top players in the last transfer window, Suva managed a stellar performance at the Inter-District Championship. The Whites will continue the rebuilding phase at next month's Pacific Cup.
Then he races out and picks it up.
After this IDC tournament, I think we started improving after losing a lot of top players, and the new players have been combining well, and we are looking forward to build more combination in this Pacific Cup.
Singh is mindful that Suva has never won the Pacific Cup, but will try his best to give fans something more to cheer about.
And out of play for a corner kick.
Every team wants to win, and we will prepare well. And I will be giving more than 100% in this tournament, and we would like to win this tournament for the fans of Suva.
The coach says he is pleased with the performance of his current squad and looks to build combinations as the side progresses to the next level.
For these new boys who have really gelled up in the team, and we had few weaknesses in the beginning of this year in the team, and we got some players who have replaced these players, and they really did well, and it was just unfortunate that we lost in the semis.
Nandi, Lautoka and Lambasa will also represent Fiji at the Pacific Cup from November 18 to the 22nd in Auckland. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
In the Hyundai A-League, Spaniard Andrew went from first half villain into second half hero with a late goal, which enabled the Western Sydney Wanderers to force a 1-1 draw against Adelaide United at Cooper Stadium last night.
That's a better ball from Isaias, first time. Drop over the top to Elrich, who pushed forward, rides the challenge, does Tarek Elrich, and it's an own goal! Adelaide United in France. Nichols with the outside of the boot. Now the feet of Vidicic. Elrich's clearance, only as far as Abreu, and there is the equaliser! Western Sydney hit back, and how often do you see it? An own goal, and then the equaliser from the same player.
Meanwhile, Roy Krishna and his Wellington Phoenix play the Perth Glory tomorrow. The Wallabies have been dealt a devastating double blow to their Rugby World Cup campaign, with Israel Folau and David Pocock ruled out of their quarter-final showdown with Scotland. Wallabies take on Scotland at 3 a.m. on Monday, while at 12 a.m. Ireland play Argentina. Tomorrow, South Africa plays Wales at 3 a.m., while the All Blacks play France at 7 a.m. You can watch the entire tournament live on FBC TV. Rain and windy conditions affected most parts of the country today. The tropical depression O2F was about 440 kilometers southwest of Rotuma and about 350 kilometers northwest of Nadi at midday today. The associated trough of low pressure with associated cloud and rain affects Rotuma, Fiji, Wallis and Samoa. Meanwhile, a weak frontal system lies slow moving over the southern Cooks. Taking a look at temperatures, rain and humid conditions were experienced as Suva and Savu recorded 24 degrees, Nandi 30, Lautoka was on a high of 31 degrees, Ba on 29 and Lambasa on 27 degrees. Now the forecast to midnight, periods of heavy rain at times and few thunderstorms, rain gradually easing overnight. And as for Monday, you should experience occasional rain. Recapping our headlines tonight, tropical depression weakening as it slowly moves away from Fiji. Prime Minister apologizes to former Fijians for the coups of 1987 and 2000. And School Management Association not happy with state of affairs in Education Ministry. On to our poll question. This week we are asking, should we keep John McKee until the 2019 Rugby World Cup? You can visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, and if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply #FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good night.